Hello and welcome back to Crew Call with the Scooters. I'm so excited to welcome our next guest with us today. I have Veronica Eyenga and Jasmine Moffit with us. So thank you both so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's just dig right into this because I'm so excited about the organization, and I want to, get into Jasmine as well. So Veronica, you are the founder of an organization called My Friend's House, based in Maryland, is where your headquarters. Why don't you give us a little background on the organization? What made you come up with the idea, and why it's such an important program and organization for young women?
Yeah, so My Girlfriend's House is actually a labor of love. It came about maybe about 13 years ago. I was at a point in my life where I really felt compelled to want to give back and impress upon the future generation what it means to be a strong woman. And so when we first started, it was me and like a group of 2 or 3 other women, and we were kind of, successful in our own rights, but we wanted to leave more of a carbon footprint than just spending money. And so we started going around mentoring adult women. And one year we came upon this one facility that housed homeless women in Baltimore. And it was all these teenage girls all over the place. And I remember asking the executive director whether the Girl Scouts were volunteering, only to discover that these girls actually lived in these facilities. And that was my first real introduction to the new face of homelessness, which was teenage girls. Now, in the beginning, we really wanted to work hard to make sure that these girls would feel like they can break the cycle of poverty that they were living in. We wanted to educate them to be the best version of themselves and just to accomplish anything that they set their minds out to be. Over the time, we have evolved where we're not necessarily working with girls that live in shelters anymore. Now we're doing more advanced training with girls that are interested in becoming future leaders of this world, the next Michelle Obamas. And so for us, it became a matter of how can we make this girl's experience with us be better than it was when she first met us? How can we make her feel stronger than she was when we first interacted with her? But more importantly, how can we also make her feel stronger? Like there's nothing that she cannot do. And so today, My Girlfriend's House is like a 360 wraparound mentoring program for teenage girls. We meet with these girls 50 weeks a year, and we cover everything from leadership development to entrepreneurship to college readiness to social responsibility and also to advocacy work. We want them to loan their voices to these big national conversations that are taking place, because without them, we have no future. And so that's really where my passion comes in, is really just helping these girls figure out who they're destined to be. And I'm just happy that they allow me to be able to play such a small step or role in their bigger life visions.
And how many girls are typically in the program? How many girls are you mentoring at a time?
Yeah, during any session, we can have 12 to 15 girls per session. We used to do like 30 girls per session, but it got really crazy and it started to feel like Saturday school. So we scaled it back a little bit so that we can provide more hands-on, one-on-one experience with the girls. And so again, a session could be like, it runs concurrent with the school year. So for instance, we'll have a session from September through December. Then we'll have another session from January through the end of May. And then right now we're in our summer session from June through the end of August.
Wow. And you said that this was an issue that you were seeing in your community. Is that something that you continue to see that growth, that girls need something like this program for them to come to and get the advice and the leadership training on that?
I mean, I definitely think so. I think just women in general, something in our chemical makeup always makes us feel like we're not good enough. And then we grow up to become women who still doubt our worth and we don't know that we deserve any better. So my position in life is to really just make these girls feel amazing. Like there is nothing they cannot accomplish if only somebody will believe in them and guide them into making those proper decisions. So I feel like whether you are in the suburbs or you are in the city, I feel like every single child could benefit from a leadership development program of some sort.
Absolutely. And what do you see in your community? A girl who comes into the program and then goes through the training mentorship program, what do you see? The change in her behavior, demeanor, how she perceives herself?
I mean, I think that's the biggest one. Like, for instance, I have 2 funny little stories. I have one little girl who came to mentoring for about 2 years. At the end, and she never really said a word. And we don't push them; we challenge them to think differently and to debate. That way, in little bits and pieces, she starts to get her confidence. I remember her father calling us and saying, listen, my daughter's starting to sass back now. She's got something to say about everything. And we were like, but that's what we want her to do, is to speak whatever is on her mind. And then she just has to learn to channel it correctly. We also have another funny story where we had another young lady who is super shy. And then now she wants to sing every single time we do any public event. She volunteers herself to stand in front of a group of 200, 300, 400 people and speak or sing. Those are the kind of, skills or confident building activities that we want our girls to jump into, because my position is she should never be afraid to walk into a room and let her voice be heard, or to let her presence be understood.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you kind of answered my next question a little bit. Any of the girls or young women who finish the mentorship programs and go on, do they come back and help or volunteer with some of the girls in the program?
Yeah, I think the give back is a huge part of it. I really like it when the girls reach back to me and they talk about the fact that they want to plan a reunion and they want to go sit in a space that we call pillow talk, which is where we used to sit and just talk about all of our life's problems. Like, they want to catch up. It also makes my heart happy when we're doing a program and I have to call those girls in and be like, hey, we need a facilitator. Are you willing to come share what you've learned? And they have come back and they've talked to us about advocacy. They've come back and talked to us about college readiness. They have come back and talked to us about entrepreneurship. So again, our youth are very engaged, and it really makes my heart happy that they've now grown up to become young women who now understand the power of giving back to another generation that possibly needs their assistance.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And why don't you introduce Jasmine? We're so happy to have you here too. You are obviously part of the program, but why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got involved, and go into this incredible. You won this great honor. So I really want to hear about that and a little more from you.
I got into, well, first I want to say hi and thank you for having me.
Okay.
I got into my girlfriend's house because my mom felt like I needed an outlet, and I looked over the program's reviews and everything and saw how much of an impact it was making on girls my age. And I asked my mom to sign me up. And the opportunity to be with Miss Veronica from January to May was very eye-opening. And my mother even told me my vocabulary got better. I was being more of a teenager, that I'm growing up the way I need to. And it's very good to have Ms. Veronica's help because she's very inspiring, and she makes sure girls my age or younger, she explains it the way that we will understand it, not if we're hearing it from somebody else and we won't understand it, because it's more of a comprehension thing. But Ms. Veronica breaks it down and makes sure we understand it. And when she breaks it down, we understand. And I feel like all of the girls everybody was shy coming into the program, very shy, very quiet. And once Ms. B got us into the groove, talking to us and make sure we was outstanding personalities, we all left as friends, we have a sisterhood, and we call Ms. B our mom. So we know we can depend on her anytime when we call her and things like that.
That's incredible. And what do you think that, before we go into the business, I want you to explain what you want and the thought behind everything. What would you say your biggest growth point was? How do you feel from when you started to now? What have you learned, and how do you feel like you've changed or, evolved?
I was told I was a very good leader before I came to the program, but being in the program has advanced my leadership skills, and I'm very more outgoing. I'm not scared to talk to anybody, like talk to adults, as of before I was in the program. I felt like it was very awkward for me to talk to adults when I needed something. And when I was in the program, I did not like to ask for help at all. And while being in the program, Ms. V made me realize that it's okay to ask for help when I need it.
That's definitely a huge growth factor. And so tell us a little bit about what you won and your business and things along those lines.
So we had our teen expo and on May 29th, and we had to do a Shark Tank pitch. And I won the entire thing. And a part of my package from winning was I have a team behind me now. So I have somebody doing my postcards and business cards, a social media developer, somebody to help me with my website, a business coach. And the judges liked my pitch so much, they even offered to help me. And we had the first radio interview this morning, and that was a part of it.
That's incredible. And tell us, what did you pitch? What was your pitch about?
So I'm the founder and CEO of Grind for Mine Apparel. Grind for Mine Apparel is just a story untold that needs to be heard. And I felt like the judges understood the story that I was trying to tell. And my goal right now is to get it out there to motivate people by seeing you wear what you are motivated by. And I feel like Grind for Mine is a very motivational phrase.
And is that a headband or a hat? What is that?
Yeah, this is my headband, and I have one of my hoodies on right now.
And you designed everything yourself and built the whole business?
Yes.
And did you have any inspiration as a designer that you look to, or is it all something that you draw out, or what's your process of design?
So the design process is kind of just me sitting there thinking, and or me going on, I would go on custom ink and just play around with the fonts for my wording, play around with the design, the coloring and stuff like that to keep up with it. And my whole inspiration for Grind for Mine Apparel was a peer of mine had a story that needed to be told. And it was told, but it's not heard. So as he was telling me how he worked his way to the top, it just came across to me that me and him were talking, and he said, "Oh, I grind for what I'm doing now." And that just clicked to me. And as soon as I got in my room, I started working on my designs and everything like that. And that was very convenient that my mom was putting me in the program that month. That way, when Miss Veronica had told me what we were doing, I was like, oh, this is perfect. I can get it out there. I can start.
Good for you. That's incredible. I could ask you a million questions on that. But couple things on that. What would you say for, girls your age, girls younger, girls older, women in general who, can I do this? What would you tell them? What do you think that drive comes from?
I feel like if you put your mind to it, you can do it. It just takes time. You cannot get frustrated. It's a very long process, but it's a process worth the wait.
And where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? What do you want to be? What do you want to be doing?
In 5 years, I'll be graduating college by then. I'm hoping I can open a store, maybe worldwide.
That's incredible. Well, we're excited. So whenever your website launches, you better let us know so we can.
I have a website.
You have it? All right. So we'll put it. What is it?
It's grind the number 4 apparel.com.
All right. Well, we're gonna link that in here so people can find you. And I do want to put it back to Ms. Veronica. I asked Jasmine how she feels she's evolved since the beginning. What have you seen in her since she started versus where she is today?
Well, I think like when she first came to the program, she was just a little girl who just seemed angry for no reason, right? And maybe there were reasons, but just angry, and you can see it, and she was projecting anger and just an unapproachability. But over time, as she started to let her guard down and start to trust the process and trust the program, we started to see her blossom. And suddenly all of those leadership characteristics she just spoke about started to come to the table, where we would ask her to lead certain things, to teach the younger girls behind her certain things. And at first, again, we faced a little bit of resistance, but after, when she started to know that we were a safe place and that we were on her side, everything changed. Today, she is one of my 4 leaders where I look to her for a lot of stuff and I count on her opinion because it's really important to me that she loan her voice to the bigger conversation that needs to be taking place around her.
That's incredible. And for anyone who's in the area or who is looking to join Girlfriend's House, how would they get in touch with you?
Oh, absolutely. So you can find us on all social media sites by just looking up My Girlfriend's House Incorporated or My Girlfriend's House Inc. Online, you can find us at www.mygirlfriendshouse.org. You can also call us at 301-560-0506.
That's great. Well, I can't thank you both enough. You are both incredible women and are exactly what we need for the future. So thank you so much again. What an honor to have you both on here, and
thank you.
Watching you. We can't wait to see what's happening next. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. I really appreciate your time.
Absolutely.